Alrighty, YouTube, it's your boy Zxous, and we're back with another Goddess of Victory Nikke video. And in today's video, we're going to be breaking down MAST'S skills because, as you guys know, when they drop these patch notes, they give you like a brief description of what the character skills are going to be, like the first skill, the second skill, and the third skill, or at least like something that's going to happen in the first skill, what's going to be happening in the second skill, and what's going to be happening in the third skill, right? So we're going to break it down to see before the full kit skill reveals, to see if she's broken or not. If she's not broken, let me not use that word, like throw that word around. We're going to see if she's good or whatever and stuff like that. So first things first, she's an Elysion, thankfully. Right, I know it's been too long. Like, look at the Elysions we have in the game. Take a look, genuinely. Like, take a look at the Elysions we have in the game, bro. Like, please help me understand. Right, I'm so happy we finally got another Elysion. She's an SMG, which is actually going to be good for her, I'm going to say, because her kit seems to be based on crit from what I remember, right? So she's just not gonna have great burst generation, but she is going to crit, right? Hopefully. So let's take a look, right? Master Pirate Aspirant Nikke, who is a part of the Aegis, I think that's how you say the Aegis or the Aegis. I think it's Aegis though, right? Joins the battlefield, right? So this is her first skill. This is going to be her second skill and her third skill. Not like exactly, but this is what the first skill has to offer. This is what the second skill has to offer. This is what the third skill has to offer. She is a supporter, right? So she's not a damage dealer. Right, unless she's like literally like Dorothy, right? But I doubt it because she's not a pilgrim, right? Mass skill lowers the enemy's strength when preparing for critical attacks. So I don't know what this part means. Mass skills lowers the enemy's strength when preparing for critical attack. So I'm going to assume what this first skill means is whenever she crits, she's going to be lowering the enemy's attack, right? Because when it comes to strength, they probably just mean damage and attack and stuff like that. So it's most likely when she crits, right? It's probably going to be a stackable buff or something like that, right? But she might like decrease enemies attack, like all enemies. No, it says the enemies. So it's most likely the one character she's attacking. So probably whoever she hits, she lowers their attack when she crits. That's what I'm going to assume. Because it says when preparing for critical attack. You cannot prepare for a critical attack unless you crit, I guess. So I'm gonna assume her first skill literally has to do with her critting, right? This just makes the most sense, right? Most likely lowering their attack or their HP or anything. Like it says enemy strength. I'm gonna take strength as attack, but it could be HP, it could be defense, but I am gonna take it as attack, right? So for every time she crits, she's going to be lowering their attack, most likely. That's what I'm gonna say this skill is. The second skill increases the crit hit rate of self and allies at the beginning of battle and enhances the combat ability of self and allies when her HP drops to a certain point. So you know what might be good, bro? This might be a stretch, but she might actually be cool. I'm gonna definitely have to try this compound, but she might be pretty good with a character that I find quite useless in the game, and that's Julia. Right, because Julia's whole thing is to crit and stuff like that, right? Every 10 seconds after the first 20 seconds, so basically every other 10 seconds, she's going to be increasing her own crit rate by a massive amount. And then she does have a stackable massive crit damage buff that lasts for 15 seconds, right? So if you get 5 stacks, you're gonna have well over 100% crit damage. And then she increases her crit rate by a lot. I think with somebody like MAST, who again is increasing crit rate of herself and allies at the beginning of the battle, and then combat ability of stuff, and then enhances the combat ability. The combat ability, I'm assuming that's crit damage, most likely. She seems to be a crit type based unit, right? So I'm gonna assume she's, when it says combat ability, that's crit damage. I honestly don't know what that part means. Combat ability, I've never seen that term for one of these before, but she's definitely increasing the crit rate of characters, so that could be quite useful for someone like Julia, who I feel like if you can get her to like guaranteed always crit her normal attacks. The problem is she just does no damage, like 4. I mean, no, she can probably do some numbers if she can get it going right with this character, most likely, but we'll have to test that one out. I'm assuming enhance the combat ability of self and allies when her HP drops to a certain point. Hopefully it's not too far. It's like usually when they have characters like this, it's like 80 or 70% max. There's no way it's like 30% or something that bad, but it's definitely especially since it says she raises her max HP, right? It's probably going to be something like 70 or 80%. I want to say 50% would actually be a bit, you know, iffy, but if anything past 50 is ridiculous, right? 40, 30, 20, 10, that's ridiculous. But I would think they should be 70 or 80%, or even 90%. That's a possibility too, right? When her HP drops below, because she's not supposed to really be getting hit, right? She's a supporter. She's not supposed to be taking insane damage. If she was a tank, that would make that would be a different story. But because she's not, I'm gonna assume this is just 70, 80%, literally, right? And then her burst skill. So yeah, her second skill, just to sum it up, increasing the crit rate for sure of herself and allies at the beginning of battle for free. And then probably the second part of her second skill will just be increasing that crit damage, most likely when her HP drops below a certain percentage, most likely 70, 80%. Right, so it's, you know, so far, if we're just going off of this breakdown, doesn't seem like a must-have or anything like that. I doubt she will be a must-have, but we can only have to wait, or we're gonna have to wait. Now her burst skill. When using burst skill, she raises the max HP of self and allies without affecting her current HP. What? She raises the max HP of herself and allies without affecting her current HP. Okay, so I get it what it means. Okay, so let's say her max HP is 1 million, right? But she has 900k HP, right? She's going to increase the max cap being 1 million, but the 900k will not increase to like 1 million out of like 1.5 million, right? Like how it usually does, I'm gonna assume. It's just gonna stay at 900k, but her max HP, I guess, probably will permanently, I don't know, but her max HP, like the final number will only increase, not the HP she's currently at, right? So, okay. That seems weird. It kind of seems iffy. I don't know, but we'll figure that out when the skills actually drop, right? If this effect is utilized efficiently, utilized efficiently. So most likely a 20-second character, right? Probably burst 1 or 2, 20-second. Actually, we can check her burst right here. Right? Does it say what burst? She's a burst 2, most likely with a 20-second cooldown, right? Yeah, she's a buffer and a debuffer. Yeah, so most likely a burst 2, 20-second cooldown character. Hence why they mean efficiently. So again, I mean, yeah, okay. If this effect is utilized efficiently, certain characters' combat abilities greatly increase. So I'm going to assume this is crit damage again. Combat ability, that's most likely crit damage. Right? Because what would that be? It's definitely not attack, right? Because they would say attack, right? And then her whole thing is like preparing for critical attack, her increasing crit. So combat ability most likely is crit damage, right? But it says if it's used efficiently, certain characters' combat ability will be increased greatly. Yeah, so literally I'm thinking like, if I put her up with Julia might start to perform somewhat, bro, because she's already increasing her crit damage by a big amount, right? Don't get it twisted. This crit damage, that stacks up to 5 times. That's 100 something. That's 100% crit damage. And then she's already increasing her crit rate by a lot, but she still is not critting a lot somehow. But with MAST'S, she definitely will be doing that, right? So, yeah, I don't know. She's definitely going to be critting though, because she's SMG, no question. But yeah, literally a full-blown crit-based character. I'm not sure if you're going to need this, right? I wish they maybe added a character who increased all allies' attack speed. Literally all I want in Nikke right now. A character who could increase all allies' attack speed. That will literally be like a must summon for so much reasons. Do you know how much characters have the skill when the last bullet hits, or if they like get this much amount in within like 5-10 seconds? Like literally a character who increases attack speed would be beneficial for everybody's account. So MAST'S does not seem to be that character. She does seem to be a character who buffs up the crit set, like the crit rate and crit damage scene. Don't really know if that's like a must needed character. I don't really think you're going to need a character like this, especially when it comes down to using like your main DPSs. Most of the characters in the game already guarantee crit, right? Or not guaranteed crit, but crit enough where they don't need like a more of a crit boost. So Don't really know how well she's gonna be, how much people are actually going to want to summon for this character. But if I'm going based off this whole, you know, just this information we have here about her kit, I'm going to say she's probably a 6 out of 10, just off of paper, because again, crit rate, crit damage buffs, they're cool and stuff, but they're just not needed. Like, again, who needs it? Modernia? No, I actually don't even recall ever seeing my Modernia like hit white numbers, bro. I swear her numbers are always red or yellow, which is crit or core hit crit, right? Or just core hit, but core hit crit as well, right? She crits a lot, so same as Soline because she's SMG, same as Guillotine, right? There's a lot of these characters already crit enough, right? I don't think this is a character you need to have, but that's just off the breakdown skills. So this is Masked, and that's her little breakdown here. We will go over it when her actual kit comes down or comes out, and we will see how accurate I was. But again, what I'm saying right now is this is obviously going to lower the enemy's attack when she crits. This is going to be increasing the crit rate of herself and allies, and then increase the crit damage of allies and herself when her HP drops below a certain point. And then this is going to be increasing her HP and allies max HP without increasing their HP, of course, as it says right there. And then I want to say if this is used like a couple of times, it's going to increase the crit damage for it says greatly enhanced, right? So crit damage for certain characters. I don't know what the situation is, but we'll figure that out there. Maybe it might be electric characters, right? That's what it probably means by certain characters, electric code characters, who knows? Which might not be great actually, because let me just double check before we end off the video. Who is an electric type character? Never mind, I see Scarlet right there, and Haran Guillotine, that might be good, right? That might be very good actually. For, you know, Scarlet, Haran, Maiden, Guillotine, right? Those DPSs right there, right? So yeah, that's what I'm going to say her skills are right now. A little breakdown. You guys let me know what you think. It's your boy Zxous. See you guys next one. I'm out. Peace.